Welcome to today's video. Today I'll be speaking about the hot topic currently in the economic and financial and even news system, which is the Trump's tariff, essentially what Trump is doing with the US. And I would just like to elude you guys to what I perceive is the plan of Trump's, and and what I think will happen in the markets. So, going to my next slide. So, Trump's plan. US currently has 36 trillion in debt. In 2025, US will spend 6 trillion but will only collect 4 trillion in revenue, so they will need to borrow an additional 2 trillion. Okay, so this is just understanding the background. And also another thing to note is this year they're also due to refinance 7.2 trillion of that debt. So refinance is, have your mortgage comes to every 2 years, you have to refinance it, and you're looking for a good deal out there. What's out there every 2 or 5 years, whatever you may have, it's the same here. So does the economy have to do that of a country. So yeah, so what is Trump's plan? So firstly, he wants to cut expenses, which is pretty evident why what Elon is doing with Doge. He's doing, to be honest, I know people are, criticizing some of the things he's doing, but he is catching some major, I would say potholes when it comes to finances in the government, which is good. He wants to. The ambition is to cut expenses by 1 trillion, and I think they're almost there. And increasing revenue via tariffs. So obviously with these new tariffs that Trump is, minimum of 10%, and then reciprocal tariffs, which is kind of half of what other country charges the US. That comes to just for the biggies who are charging quite extortionate amounts. So what he wants to do is, he wants to increase revenue of the country via the tariffs, and he wants to reduce taxes and interest rates. So let me just go a bit more in detail over here. So he wants to increase tariffs, which will increase product prices, which will potentially lead to lower profits for some major companies, maybe Apple, Tesla, because let's face it, some of the components of those countries are still manufactured in China. So if he increases those, it will lead to, higher prices of products, or companies may decide to digest some of those additional expenses. So we don't know that for sure. Or it will go to consumer, and obviously because it's slightly expensive, there might be less attraction for consumers to buy such products. So what will happen is your stock prices of these companies will drop. So this then will make your investors think, right, the stock prices are dropping, I'm not getting significant amount from these stock prices. Let me divert my investment from stocks to bonds. So your bond market will then look attractive. And what this will do is increase your bond prices and your yields from bonds. And what this will inevitably do is reduce your interest rates. And that will then, when Trump does come to refinancing the 7.2 trillion, or I think it's 7.29 trillion, I've heard, but somewhat around that kind of amount, that will become at a lesser interest rate than what it is now. So the whole plan will work for the US. It's becoming, quite, so the US is actually in a good position to do that. So whatever Trump is doing will ultimately I know people are saying it may backfire, etc., etc., but if you think about it, it may actually work in the US's favor. And with manufacturing becoming more, or Trump's plan to get more manufacturing in the US, inevitably that will lead to more jobs, more productive people, that will increase the tax revenue coming for those productive people. So ultimately it will have a whole effect to the government finances. So I hope this video helps you guys. It's just an overview. This is not forex, but just a general fundamental news analysis on what